What's up, people? This is DarthCastle here. We are going to take a look at XM Punisher. This is a piece, I think, like you actually showed me video of this. They were showing video of this and Ghost Rider and some other stuff at one of the conventions. And I saw the pictures and I was like, oh, I gotta get it. You know, it's finally a Punisher piece, something I'm interested in. And one that I like the look of, and you don't see him on a bike or anything, any of the other ones, so it was unique, and I really wanted it. Then I thought, it's XM, shipping is going to be crazy, how much is it going to cost, how am I going to get it, and I kind of gave up on it, and I kind of tried to erase it from my mind and not think about it. It was like one of those lost causes. It's like, yeah, I want it, but it's too far. It's out of reach. And I kind of lucked into it. So,
your grandma bought you this piece.
Yes, I love her. I love my grandma dearly.
You and Alex got the same grandma. I don't know how that shit worked out. But grandma ain't buying Darth Vader nothing. So
shout out to my brother from another mother, but we share the same grandma. She's good to us all the time. And so yeah, I was able to get this piece, the first XM piece. We actually did an unboxing of it at my job. That was funny.
That was interesting.
People coming, co-workers coming in and everything, and trying to figure out how to put this thing together. But it was a stunner. You know, there are some other Punisher pieces out now, you know, but this is still one of the top ones. This is still one of my favorite Punisher statues. Great detail and, you know, it's just unique pose. I'm gonna let you go for a minute.
Yeah, this was I was eager to see this when Rodney Graham and Alex's grandmother sent it to him, because I had never seen the XM. Neither one of us has ever seen the XM piece up close before, and you know, so I rushed over. We unboxed it. That was our first unboxing. You could tell it was our first unboxing because it was kind of really more raw than our usual unboxings, you know. But you know, when I first saw it, I was in. I mean, of course, now, you know, more pieces have come out, and, you know, stuff that, you know, might trump it, but still, I think it's a great piece. I mean, you know, ain't no question. But when I first saw this, I was like, my goodness, I'm like, there's stuff out there like this, you know what I mean? Because it's as you get closer to it, you know, just surprisingly enough, the thing that gets me the most is the puddles on the ground. Is like, as I was looking at it, all the lights was shimmying off of it. I mean, it really looked like real water. You know what I mean? When you stand on like this side of it and shine lights on it, it literally looks like real water on the puddles. And you got bullet casings and the textures on the leather on his like his knife holder and all the straps. As you get close to, I mean, you'll see the pictures. It's really a great piece. Really great piece.
Yeah. This is one of those pieces. To this day, I've had it for over a year now, but to this day, when I look at it, I want to touch the tires because I can't believe it's not rubber. You know, the detail on it is insane. It's funny because, you know, he has the Ghost Rider, and I kind of look at him as like, that's the far away piece. You see that far away and it's wow. You gotta get close to this one to see it and really, you know, get the wow factor. Because yeah, like he said, the puddles and with the shells in it and the way it reflects, the damage on the bike. You know, so this is a bike that has been beat up. It's been used, and you know, the stitching on his clothes and on his holsters for like his knife,
on the boots,
yeah, I mean, his guns,
around the
yep, all the way around the sole for the boots. Even got little scuff marks on it. You know, if you had some steel toes that you wore for a long time. You know, the chain is real, so it's a you know, little chain on it is real. You can see it moving. Yeah, this was, like we said, this was the first time we saw XM up close, and it's definitely another level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't slack on anything as far as the actual piece. This head, this face is from, I forget the artist who draws it in the comics, but it's right out. It's during Civil War when they kind of relaunched the Punisher War Journal comic. That's how they started drawing him. Now the only difference is in the comic he's a lot beefier. Me personally, I don't like my Punisher that beefy, so I'm kind of glad that, yeah, they went with the face from the comic, but they didn't go with the same body. His body's a little leaner on the statue than it is in a comic. This is the other head that it comes with. Now this is the one you think looks like Thomas Jane.
That's the only thing I can come up with, because you know I've read, you know, he got me reading comics, Punisher comics back in the day, and there's never been a Punisher that looks like this in any comic book I've ever seen. And I mean, he's read more than I have, and the only thing I can attribute to has got to be Thomas Jane is what they were looking for, because that's the only thing it looks relatively similar to. You know what I mean? So
I wish I could see that, because Thomas Jane, until John Bernthal on Netflix, Thomas Jane was my favorite version of the Punisher. I wish I could see Thomas Jane in his face, because I would use it. But because I don't see that in him, and like he doesn't look like any of the depictions of the Punisher in the books, this one I don't use ever. I mean, you know, it's not a bad sculpt. It just don't look like anybody. You know, so it stays in a box. This one looks like, the one that's on him, it looks like Punisher from the War Journal. Yeah. Punisher War Journals right around the time Civil War was going on, the first Civil War. That's that Punisher. So that's the head that stays on him. And, you know, I know they did there was a custom head which looks great, has a lot of detail, has a beard and everything. But that, again, it doesn't look like any Punisher from the books that I know. So I pass on that one.
It's funny you bring up Ghost Rider, because the same Ghost Rider in this piece have the same sculptor. His name is Adam W. Ross. And yeah, I don't know if they just got him to do all the motorcycle pieces, but he got a unique style, you know what I mean? But it's incredible, because with both pieces, obviously they're different characters. One is, you know, we doubt you'll ever see a real Ghost Rider, but there could be a real Punisher. But
he needs to be one.
The bikes are different, obviously. Like this looks to me, when I first saw it, I just thought about, like, because he had got me watching Sons of Anarchy, and it looks kind of like a Harley Fat Boy. That's the one that Bobby rode around on, you know, with the bikes. The one that he rides on, I forgot what they call, but they're like the Evel Knievel type of thing with the long front. You know what I mean? So the guy knew his motorcycles when he did, you know, both of these pieces. You know, and even the engine, I mean, you can see carburetors and cams and pistons and everything, you know, as you look. It's both, you know, both of the pieces, but, you know, we're talking about this one, but it's just literally, you can sit here and find something new every time you look at it. You know what I mean? And incredible. I mean, it's really, when I first saw it, I was really jaw dropped, you know, when it came out. I was like, this is really, you know, because we kept hearing, you know, from XM. We were like, okay, it's got to be something to it, you know what I mean? But it really is a different situation. Like when you get yourself a Mercedes or something, it's like you can't go back to driving, you know, Chevys, you know what I mean? So that's basically what it is. Well, you know, I mean, you know, that's just my opinion. We don't want to talk about filth right now, but
no such thing. Yeah, this one, it definitely deserves. This is one of those times I wish I had an electric turntable and I could just set this on the table and put it on slow and let it spin, because I like looking at it from every angle. Yeah, from the boots all the way up. It is special. It is really nice piece. And
you talk about the gun bag and the,
oh yeah,
and the M60, and you know,
he loaded for bear.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He ready to do some work. For a while, I actually had it flipped, because I like seeing the bag so much but it's on the back side. So at one point I flipped it around so I had the bag on the other side. And I like
the ammo case on the other side.
And I like that look too. I think only thing I would change is really not anything I would change to this, but I would add some switch outs. Like XM is usually, you know, they're known for a lot of switch outs and options, and you know, they didn't really do that, give you that with this one. They gave you the other head. I would have loved to seen like a angry head where he's like in the middle of shooting and maybe a gun that like kind of like how bubble, but not with fire, but like, you know, like that the heat seeker. You know how the the blast comes out of the gun. Some kind of switch out arm with a gun where he's doing that, where he's actually shooting, and then a face that would kind of match that emotion and action that's going with it. That would have been cool. Or honestly, for me, you could have even gave me a switch out where he's just actually holding on to the bike. Like, give me another left arm where he's just holding on to the bike. Maybe he's on the way from someplace, from taking care of business. Or
piggybacking off of that, if you could have him holding up the 60 and this arm like hold as if he's aiming at something. That'd have been, I think that'd have been nice, you know. But definitely a different head for the other head is definitely the flaw of this, you know, the main flaw of this piece. If they could have did a Jim Lee head or anything like that, you know, Ramita, something like that, anything, you know. There's so many great Punisher artists that they could have, you know, used instead of trying to, you know, I don't know what they were trying to do, but you know.
I'm sorry. If that is supposed to be a Thomas Jane, they were drunk and high when they were doing it.
Something happened, but
like,
I mean,
or maybe they didn't use any pictures or source material and they just tried to do Thomas Jane from memory, and that's what they came up with.
Could have been. I mean, that's all I can come up with. That's what it's supposed to be, you know. But other than that, I mean, it's a fantastic piece, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the ones that's gonna stay with me forever. And you know, XM, they got the little special treatment, so they give you the book and everything, and they do something. It'd be nice if Sideshow does, you know, where they do a picture of the packaging, so you know where everything goes if you ever gotta put it together and take it apart. But yeah, this was a special piece. This was the way they do their packaging and everything. They make it like an event. So for this to be, you know, the very first XM piece I had ever laid eyes on, you know, because we'd seen XM pieces, but they were on YouTube.
Right.
You know, this was the first time we saw them in person and got to open up the box and go through the experience. And
big difference.
It was special. It was special. They definitely, other companies could, you know, take some lessons for how they present their pieces. And yeah, it's really highly detailed, very special. I swear, every couple of days I go and touch the tire because I'm like, that's rubber? That's not rubber. Like it is, and just the way they took chances with it and gave you a banged up, dingy bike instead of, you know, they could have made it, you know, clean and, you know, sparkling new just off the lot. But no, this is Frank Castle. This bike isn't for show. This is work. This is a piece of, this is a tool for him. So it don't have to be impressing people. It gets him to where he needs to go. I kind of wonder if that Ross guy, since he did these two, did he do the Catwoman too?
I'm not sure.
That was the bike that came out around the same.
We might have to look that up, but I don't know how they would do it, but I think somebody need to make one with maybe with the battle van. I mean, I don't know if they can make the whole van, but like maybe a piece of it, or maybe like the back of it where he's getting the guns out of the back or something like that, and you see all the weaponry. That would be nice. Like he's sort of like facing you, but in the back of him, the van is open. He got all the weapons. Right, exactly. Or being in the armor, yeah. I mean, because there's so many Punisher pieces coming out now. You know, just some ideas, folks.
Yeah,
you know, something fresh.
I'd love to see like a Punisher with the backdrop being the armory,
Right.
with the guns on the wall, and maybe he's just like, he ain't always got to be killing people. He could be sitting at the table cleaning his guns with
Right.
parts laid out,
Yeah.
and back part of the statue is a wall with guns hanging up on it.
Because they did have a book called Punisher Armory, and he
Yes.
would talk about all his weapons and everything. So
Yes. He went into detail about all the guns, why he liked this, and they were real guns. Why he liked this one versus that one. I got some of them.
I do too. They're here somewhere.
Yeah,
I got them.
but yeah, this is definitely one of the Punisher pieces that is always on my list. You know, as one of my tops. There are some, you know, some nice ones out there, but and customs, but. And this is one of my. This is actually, I'm getting two more. Well, I got two. Got one. Got another one coming. And with that one and the one that just came, this is in my top three. Like those are the three Punishers that I haven't seen anything to top them, and you know, which is impressive because this is over a year old, and other Punishers have come out. Just not too many of them have caught my eye. There have been two other ones that have caught my eye, but you know, this one.
I definitely like this one better than the Comic Cat. I mean, a lot of people, you know, he goes for big money or whatever. You know, he's kind of large. You know, I mean that usually when you see the Punisher in the books, he's not that large. You know, but I prefer this piece over the Comic Cat, definitely. I mean, the Comic Cat's nice. I mean, I haven't seen it in person. I would say that, you know, but this, I would say if somebody offered me both of them, I'd take this over that. No question.
Yeah, people get into a debate about, you know, the size of the Punisher and he should be big or small all the time. And I'm gonna tell you, like, when I was reading the Punisher, starting with the the magazine, Punisher magazine, he was lean. He wasn't this big, bulky, hulking guy that he is now in the comics. So he's been both, but I prefer the lean one. So the Comic Cat has the same face, but they gave him the big, bulky body. From the first time I saw that one, I was like, I wasn't willing to pay what they were asking for that one, so it was just never on my radar. And then, you know, like I said, this one was one that I saw and I kind of admired and drooled over from afar, and didn't think I would get a chance to get it, and I did, and couldn't be happier. Well, I could some other switch outs, but but other than that, like as it stands, there is nothing on it I have a problem with. You know, I wish this was a Thomas, like this. I wish this really looked like Thomas Jane.
Or Bernthal or something.
Well, but see that one
came out before.
Yeah, this was before the Netflix show.
Yeah, about a year before.
If this was Thomas Jane, it would get some use. But you know, this is
just for show, just put it on there. You keep it on there about 30 seconds and then take it out. I mean, just to show him what
he's like, oh, this is what it feels like to be on the statue.
Yeah, and with this, he's kind of tilted to one side a little bit, you know, instead of, it's a different angle to it, you know, but, you know, some may like it. We don't really.
I know. I'm not a fan of it.
Because, you know, with the other head, you know, you kind of you see his Italian heritage in that face, you know what I mean? It looks like what you picture Frank Castle, the Punisher, would look like, you know what I mean? That looks like him. This one really, it doesn't, you know. This guy looks more, I don't know. I really don't know what they were thinking with this one, you know. But the regular head is definitely the way to go in our opinion, you know. So yeah, you can take the head off.
Like I said, I wish he looked like Thomas Jane, but he don't. So he stays in the box.
Yeah, so
that's the way he gets displayed. Now, unless somebody does a custom Ramita head or something, or a Chichetti, one of those, that's the head he's gonna stay with. And that's about it.
Yeah,
you know. So
that's the story here.
enjoy the pictures.
Vendetta Beats production.